Hello các bạn, hôm nay chúng ta sẽ tiếp tục hành trình đọc mỗi ngày một đoạn Kinh Thánh bằng tiếng Anh. Chúng ta đang đọc xuất xuất Ai-cập ký chương số 16. Chúng ta sẽ đọc ở trong bản dịch NIV. Manna and quiet. The whole Israelite community set out from Elim and came to the desert of Sin, which is between Elim and Sinai, on the 15th day of the second month after they had come out of Egypt. In the desert, the whole community grumbled against Moses and Aaron. The Israelites said to them, "If only we had died by the Lord's hand in Egypt, there we sat around pots of milk and ate all the foods we wanted. But you have brought us out into the desert to starve this entire assembly to death." Then the Lord said to Moses, "I will rain down bread from heaven for you. The people are going out each day and gather enough for that day. In this way I will test them and see whether they will follow my instructions. On the sixth day they are prepare what they bring in, and thus it to be tied as much as they gather on other days." So Moses and Aaron said to all the Israelites, "In the evening you will know that it was the Lord who brought you out of Egypt, and in the morning you will see the glory of the Lord, because he has heard your grumblings against him. Who are we, that you should grumble against earth?" Moses also said, "You will know that it was the Lord when he gives you meat to eat in the evenings and all the bread you want in the morning, because he has heard your grumbling against him. Who are we? You are not grumbling against us, but against the Lord." Then Moses told Aaron, "Say to anti-Israelite community, 'Come before the Lord, for he has heard your grumbling.'" While Aaron was speaking to the whole Israelite community, they looked toward the desert, and there were the glory of the Lord appearing in the cloud. The Lord said to Moses, "I have heard the grumbling of the Israelites. Tell them, at twilight you will eat meat, and in the morning you will be filled with bread. Then you will know that I am the Lord your God." That evening quail came, they covered the camp, and in the morning there was a layer of dew around the camp. When the dew were gone, thin flakes like frogs on the ground appeared on the desert floor. When the Israelites saw it, they said to each other, "What is this?" For they did not know what it was. Moses said to them, "It is the bread of the Lord has given you to eat. This is what the Lord had commanded. Everyone eat together as much as they need. Take an omer for each person you have in your tent." The Israelites did as they were told. Some gathered much, some little. And when they measured it by the omer, The ones who gathered much did not have too much, but the one who gathered little did not have too little. Everyone has gathered just as much as they needed. Then Moses said to them, "No one is to keep anything of it until morning." However, some of them paid no attention to Moses. They kept part of it until morning, but it was full of maggots and began to smell. So Moses was angry with them. Each morning, every day gathered as much as they needed, and when the sun grew hot, it melted away. On the sixth day, they gathered twice as much to almost, and each person and the leaders of the community came and reported this to Moses. He said to them, "This is what the Lord commanded. Tomorrow is to be a day of Sabbath rest, a holy Sabbath to the Lord. So bake what you want to bake, and boil what you want to boil. Save whatever is left, and keep it until morning." So they saved it until morning, as Moses commanded, and it did not stink or get maggots in it. "Eat today," Moses said, "because today is a Sabbath to the Lord. You will not find any of it on the ground today. 6 days you are to gather it, but on the seventh day, the Sabbath, there will not be any." Nevertheless, some of people went out on the seventh day to gather it, but they found none. Then the Lord said to Moses, "How long will you refuse to keep my commands and my instructions? Bear in mind that the Lord has given you the Sabbath. That is why on the sixth day he gives you bread for 2 days. Everyone to stay where they are on the seventh day. No one is to go out." So the people rested on the seventh day. The people of Israel called the bread manna. It was white like coriander seed, and dust like waffles made with honey. Moses said, "This is what the Lord has commanded. Take an omer of manna and keep it for the generation to come, so they can see the bread I gave you to eat in the wilderness when I brought you out of Egypt." So Moses said to Aaron, "Take a jar and put an omer of manna in it. Then place it before the Lord to be kept for the generation to come, as the Lord commanded Moses." Aaron put the manna with the tables of the covenant law, so that it might be preserved. The Israelites ate manna 40 years, until they came to the land that was settled. They ate manna until they reached the border of Canaan. An omer is 1/10 of an ephah. Okay, today we read Exodus chapter 16 about God provide for Israel's community with bread and manna, meat and bread we have today. But we can learn many things from the story. First, we can see the Israelites' attitude when they come to the desert. Although God rescued them from a slave life of Egypt, but they quickly forget all it. They start to crumble with Moses and Aaron above. They crumble with the law. But we can see about the love of God, the provide of God. God prepare everything the Israelites need, and God provide the meat and the bread for their demand. So we can see the rule of God is settled in through this story about God command the Israelites to gather manna in the 6th day, and they just gather manna as much as they need. Don't need to store much more than we need. This lesson teach us we have to learn about satisfy with the God provide every day. We don't need to worry about the next day, because God have a good plan for us. In the God hand, we can trust in the God provides, and we keep on to believe in Him, although everything maybe happen. Maybe economists around us are down. Maybe the war start in many the country. Maybe we can worry about the future, but this story teaches us don't need to worry, because we have a God who can provide us every day, and we can remember about the pray. Jesus teach us to pray with God. Yeah, we can pray with God for the press for every day. Yeah, and the next we can learn about we can see God teach Israelis have to set a Sabbath day, the rest day, to worship God. In this day, they don't need to gather manna, because on the 6th day God provide double. You can see this is the important rule when you have a faithfulness with God. You can do everything in 6 days, but you need to spend 1 day for God, and this is Sabbath day. This rule not only for God, but for you also, because we have a Sabbath day. We can rest about every work, and we don't need about the food, because God have a plan to provide double in the last day. And we can learn about the disobey of Israelites. They hear the command They hear the order of God through Moses and Aaron, but they don't believe. They don't keep in their minds everything God said to them, and they try everything the opposite. You see, and we can see Israelis. They don't believe God in this time. That is the reason no one can enter in Canaan, where the land God promised with them. Okay, that is the day. What is the message I want to send to you in this chapter? Exodus chapter 16, very mean for me. And you, please comment your talk about this chapter, and I very welcome everything you want to share, everything you want to learn about this story. God bless you.